Hey guys, it's me in my kitchen. Um, I made some roasted veggie salsa the other day that I shared with friends and neighbors, and everyone seemed to like it. And I've been asked for the recipe, and someone asked me to do a cooking tutorial. Shout out Dina. So I'm gonna try to do that now. If you have any questions, you can always DM me, and I'm happy to answer them. Um, but let's get started. I'm going to show you what you're going to be needing to make the roasted veggie salsa. Okay, these are the veggies that we are going to roast in the oven with a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, maybe some garlic salt. I have just some bell peppers. This is a whole green bell pepper, and then some small sweet peppers. I think they're orange and red, but you can use whatever bell peppers you have. And again, everything is to your taste, how you like it. I have 6 tomatoes that I'm going to cut in quarters and then lay flat. And then I have an entire clove of garlic that I've peeled and cleaned. And then I have a whole medium-sized yellow onion split in half. And then I have 3 jalapenos and 1 serrano pepper. The serrano is going to give it quite a bit of a kick. So if you want to keep it not so spicy, go ahead and leave out the serrano and then just replace it with the jalapeno if you want, or you don't have to replace it. But if you want this to be super mild, what you're gonna do is you are going to cut the ends, de-seed and de-vein the jalapenos or the serranos, and that's gonna cut the spice quite a bit. I have a few ends of the celery, just the celery leaf pieces. I think this is maybe like 3 or 4 stalks, or the ends of the stalks. I'm just gonna roast these. I might put a few of the leaves in the salsa, but I just want to roast these with the veggies so that it gives them some flavor. Okay, here are all the veggies that I prepped. I cut the tomatoes in quarters and I put them skin side down because that's the side that we want to either sear or get a little char on. Same thing with the peppers, the bell peppers, the jalapeno peppers. Oh, there's a couple seeds, but I'm okay with those. And the serrano peppers. I went ahead and I peeled them. I cut them open, de-seeded them, tried to take out as many of the veins as I could, not so much on the bell pepper, but on the jalapenos and the serranos. And then the garlic, I just cleaned it, peeled it, and bunched it up together. However it roasts is fine. To get more space on the, I don't want to say space, but more like surface space that gets roasted, I went ahead and I cut the onions in half and then put them face down. I did find another little piece of onion that I had in my fridge and I put that in there just to go ahead and get that used. Same thing with the sweet peppers or the colored peppers, red, yellow, and orange is what I had. It was just a little bag I bought at Aldi. I de-seeded them, I deveined them, and then I cut them in ways that they would lay most flat so they get a better char on them. Again, the tomatoes are in quarters, and then these little bitty celery leaves I just have here in the corner. I more than likely am only going to use just a few leaves to put into the salsa, but I feel like if I have the celery on the pan, it's going to give the other veggies a good flavor. These are the seasonings that I'm going to use for roasting. I'm going to drizzle olive oil, and then I will sprinkle on some salt. I prefer the sea salt, but I know people, just some people don't even have sea salt. They just have regular salt. So you can use just plain iodized salt or just regular salt, table salt. And then black pepper. I do have a little bit of garlic salt. I know that we're roasting garlic, but the garlic salt is going to bring out more of the flavor of the veggies. And then I have this Badia seasoning, sazon completa. If you don't have this, you can use, I think Goya makes a brand one, same thing, Sazon Completa. It's a green box, not the red and orange box that you would use like for rice or for sopas. But you can use either this one or it looks to me like it's just pepper, maybe some basil and some garlic that are in this seasoning. But I use the seasoning for lots of things. So I buy the big one and this is what I have. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drizzle the olive oil, and then I will put the spices, and then I will do another shot so you can see what that looks like once they're ready to go in the oven.
Okay, here are the veggies once I've drizzled them in olive oil. I did add the coarse salt. I don't know if you can tell, but I didn't use a whole lot of coarse salt, only because the bhaja seasoning has salt in it, and then the garlic salt has salt in it. So I didn't want anything to be too salty. But I just salt, peppered, used the bhaja seasoning, and then a little bit of the garlic salt. So everything is good. It's just a light drizzle of olive oil, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna put these in the oven at 450. Once the oven is ready to go. I have it preheating now. So I'm going to put this in the oven at 450 and then let them roast probably 15 minutes. But we will have to check and see how quickly they start turning color. Okay, you guys, I have my oven preheated to 450. So I'm going to go ahead and put the veggies in to roast, okay? All right, these are them. Here they go. Let me grab a pot holder right quick. Okay, slide that in. All right, see you in like 15 minutes. Okay, so here we have the veggies at 15 minutes at 450. They're not nearly as roasted as I want to be. As I want them to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna up the temperature to 475 and I'm gonna let them roast for another 15 minutes. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, so here's what we've got at an additional 15 minutes at 475. So I would say it's probably a safe bet to go ahead and do a total of 35 minutes. I don't even think 40 minutes would be bad at 475. And you want, like, this onion looks burnt. It's not burnt, it's just roasted. Like, that's the way you want it to look. So the way these look now, let me pull them out and then give you a better look. Sorry, I'm trying not to burn myself while I talk to y'all. So the garlic is browned and roasted. Let me see if I can flip over. Yeah, there's some roasting marks on the bell peppers. See how the tomatoes look. The tomatoes, I didn't de-seed them only because I want the seeds and the little bit of water that they carry to be part of the salsa. But they look good. There's some roasting here, and it, so this is perfect. This is what we're going for. And like I said, here's the celery, which I more than likely am only going to use a teeny tiny bit of, but I feel like putting it in the oven with the other vegetables gave the other vegetables a little bit more kick of flavor. This is the size pan that I'm using. I would pick it up, but it's like screaming hot right now, which is what you want. You want it to be screaming hot because you're gonna put in the watery stuff first, meaning the things with the most water. So the tomato and then the bell peppers, and then, you know, kind of work your way up. So essentially you're gonna give it like a second sear. You wanna have some either water or chicken stock. Chicken stock will be a little more flavorful. Just next to you so you can pour in if you need to deglaze the pan. Actually, let me grab some water super quick. Hang on. All right, I grabbed my cup of water. It's just, I don't know, it's probably 2.5 cups. I don't think that matters. It's just a deglaze pan if need be, like I said. And then I did chop up the cilantro that I had. I don't know if you remember earlier I told you that I had some cilantro that I was just going to add in at the end. And I have a couple pats of butter that I'm going to use also maybe a little bit for deglazing, but probably more for flavor. This is salted butter. Butter is super hard to come by right now, no matter where I've been going, so I just take what I can get. You can also use margarine if that's what you prefer, that's what you have, but this is what I had with salted butter. I think it's like 6 or 7 pats. I might not use them all. I just want to have them handy in case. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start adding, I'm going to go ahead and start adding the watery stuff. Like I said, the tomatoes, please disregard my burnt plastic tongs. And I'm going to put them in here. You're going to hear them sizzle, and then it's going to start smoking. That's what you want. You want a screaming hot pan. You want it to sound like a stadium of people cheering, essentially. So we're going to put all the tomatoes in. I know it's getting smoky. It might be hard for you to see. But I'm going to put those in and see if it can get some of the water out of them a little bit. Put those in. So that is all my tomatoes, I believe. Let's stir those up. So that's what we want. We want the bottom sides to be a little brown. Okay, I'm going to keep adding the rest of the veggies, and then I will come back and show you what all of that looks like. So I'm adding my bell peppers, my onions, my the color peppers, and the garlic. I'm going to add all that in here now, and let that get a little bit down in the pan. And like I said, if it starts to get too hot or you feel like there's too much on the bottom, you can add a little bit of water to glaze it. The water's just going to evaporate anyway. All right, so I still have the pan screaming hot. I've got everything that was on the sheet pan that roasted in here. I went ahead and I added some water. We're gonna let that water cook down to about half. What this is doing is merging the flavors. This is the time to go ahead and add your Badia seasoning. I just do a few shakes. I don't think it needs too much, but it has a little bit of lemon flavor in it, and it gives a little bit of a kick when you're done. Sorry for the steam, so I get that off. Okay, so I added just a little bit of the Badia seasoning. This is on high, and right now is the time that I'm going to go ahead and add the cilantro, so that'll cook in. I'll let a little bit of the butter go into. I'm just going to go ahead and use it all. It doesn't very much. And then I'm going to keep stirring and let this cook down. I'm probably, let's see, I'm going to move this to medium, and I'm going to let it cook down uncovered because you want the water to evaporate for maybe 5-6 minutes. And then we are going to go ahead and blend it up, salt it, and see how it tastes. Here I have exactly what I was looking for. The water's been reduced to about half. Sorry, again with the steam. To about half. What I'm going to do now is I went ahead and I turned off the heat, and I'm going to put this into my Ninja blender. That's what I've used. Let me switch that over and we will pick up there. Here's my Ninja blender that I use. I've had this, I guess, maybe 13-14 years. I love it. I actually ordered a second one and I never took it out of the box because this one, I don't know, for whatever reason, is my favorite. So you can use a blender, you can use a food processor, whatever you want to use. Go ahead and use that. As long as it, purees the veggies that you've cooked down, you've roasted and cooked down into the salsa, it'll be fine. You can even probably use a stick blender in the pot if you are comfortable doing that. I know some people aren't fans of stick blenders. Okay, so I'm just about done putting everything in here. There's not very much water left in the bottom of the pan at all, but what there is the good stuff. So it's like the little stuff. You see that little stuff stuck on the pan? Oops, sorry. The little stuff stuck on the pan. I'm going to try to scrape as much of that off as I can, because I definitely want that, which is where a lot of the flavor is, to be in the salsa. So it's not going to taste bad. It's not going to taste bitter. It's just kind of like, the drippings of a turkey or a roast. Okay, so I got those, putting those in there. So I don't yet know what the salsa tastes like. I don't know if I'm going to need to go ahead and add some salt to it. Let me grab the salt really quick. Okay, and then I made a little bit of a mess here, so I'm going to clean that up so it doesn't splatter everywhere. Okay, put my lid on here. It's going to get loud for a second while I pulse this. I'm not going to pulse it very long. I just want to make sure everything is incorporated so that I can taste it, and then add salt or pepper or whatever if need be. So give me just a second here. All right, so it's got a pretty chunky consistency, which I'm okay with, but if you want a lighter salsa or something not as heavy, feel free to add some water, add some chicken stock, add some beef stock, vegetable stock, bone broth, whatever you want to do, anything that has flavor, but even just the water is fine. So I'm going to grab a spoon, and I'm going to want to taste this really quick and see if I need to add any more seasoning to it. Let's see, tiny bit here. Really good. I personally would like a tiny bit more salt, so I'm gonna add. Okay, let me show you the consistency of this salsa. Like I said, this is a little bit chunky. Some people like it chunky, especially if you're using a heavier chip. I want to add just a little bit of water, so I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of water, and I had already added some salt. So I'm going to go ahead and finish blending this, and then we'll give it another taste, and we should be done. We will just put it in a bowl or a container or whatever it is we want to use. So, okay, let's close down. All right. Oh my gosh, now I'm having problems with my, there it is, my Ninja. Okay. All right. Okay, that looks a lot better to me. It's a little bit lighter. So it's not the prettiest color. It's kind of like a butternut squash, like a roasted butternut squash color. It's not going to be bright red unless you put tons and tons of tomato in it. But in my opinion, when you do that, the tomato kind of waters down the flavor because it's got so much water in it. So I'm going to taste it one more time. And that's it. That's what I was going for. All right, so that's it. I'm going to put it in a bowl and I'll take a quick picture so you guys can see that. But other than that, let me know if you have any questions. You can DM me or post in the comments. So here you have it. This is the final product, just so you can see on the side kind of what it looks like. You'll see the little specks of black, the little flecks of flavor, I would call them. And you can serve them with, I mean, you can serve the salsa with just about anything, or you can pour it over anything. You can put it on your eggs, tacos. It's just a really good salsa. I would say that the flavor is a little bit peppery, but not super spicy. Definitely mild enough for a child to eat. And if you wanted it to be spicier, by all means, you can add more jalapenos, or don't de-seed your jalapenos. You can also add the serrano pepper. That's like way spicier than the jalapeno. So that's an option too. You can put any kind of pepper that you want in there. If you want it flaming hot, you can add some habaneros or some ghost peppers. But what I like about this is just the roasted veggie flavor that you have. A perfect time to do this also is if, you know, someone's outside barbecuing, you can throw those veggies on the grill just to get them charred. That's a super easy way to do it. And then you just, you know, put it back in the pot, screaming hot pot, and follow those instructions from there.